Do you want to know my secrets on how I wake up at 4 a.m. every single morning for the past over 2 years, and how my life has completely changed because of this 4 a.m. wake up time? Well, listen to this video as I will share with you my secrets on how to wake up early and take control of your life. Hi everybody, and for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Lynn Panetti, a mother of 3 and an entrepreneur, and my job here on this channel is to help you achieve time and financial freedom. But before I go into my video, I would love for your support, so if you could please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel so you can be updated with my new videos every single week. Okay, so let's talk about why the hell did I even start waking up at 4? Well, I used to wake up about 6 or 7, and when I had kids, so I have 2 small kids at the moment, which is 4 and 6. My 16-year-old doesn't really live with us, he still lives in Melbourne, so don't count him. But with us 2 younger kids, when you have kids, you sort of sleep at all different times, and being pregnant and having young kids for a few years, and I don't really remember the kind of routine I had. But once the kids sort of grew up, like 2 years ago, when they no longer wake up at weird hours anymore. So what I'm trying to say is, if you have young kids and they're just babies and stuff, don't pressure yourself in trying to wake up so early at a structured routine. I wasn't a very routine person, or I couldn't really hold a routine back in the days when I had, during that stage of the baby's life. But 2 years ago, when one of them were I can't remember, 4 years old, the other one's 2, they wake up at about 6 o'clock or 7. I normally wouldn't wake up at 6 or 7. But one day I decided to wake up at 5 first. So I didn't wake up at 4 first. I wanted to wake up at 5 because when I was overseas, I went to Vietnam, and one of my staff, she wakes up at 4. And I remember opening my eyes up at 8 in the morning going, "Good morning." And she was just like, "Hello, Miss Lynn, and would you like a coffee?" And she was just on fire. I just felt like, whoa, I want to have what you're on, she just had this energy and this excitement and happiness already. And I was like, I want to wake up like that, I don't want to waste my day. So when I came back from overseas, I decided to try it out. And so I tried it out. But apart from that reason, it's just that I know that every single successful person wakes up early, right? We all hear on the news and not on the news, sorry, articles in the media that they all wake up really early and they're successful. So I knew that, come on, if I want a chance at being successful and rich like them, I'm gonna have to do the things that they do, which is waking up early. So that's why I wanted to take on that challenge. But like I was saying, I didn't intend to wake up at 4. I wanted to just try 5. To me, 5 is already early. But what happened after the first week of, actually even 1 or 2 days of waking up at 5, was that I felt like I didn't have any advantage. So like I said, my kids wake up about 6:30 or something, and so when you wake up at 5, by the time you brush your teeth and sit down and go on your computer, you haven't really gained much hours. So I think within the second day or something, I decided, nah, if I'm gonna wake up early, I gotta have to make a big difference, which is 4 a.m. So I woke up at 4 a.m. and boy, it was hard. It was when the alarm rings, you're just like, what? It's so early. But to be honest, it didn't take me long for me to really enjoy the benefit. So, I enjoyed the benefit immediately. I realized I was so much more creative. I had so much more excitement for the day. I felt in control. I felt like I've already had one day ahead of everyone else in the world, or anyone else that I work with. During that time, it's tranquility. It's just my time to do whatever I wanted to do. At the beginning, you might feel a bit tired. You're not used to waking up that early. So 4 or 5 in the afternoon, you're just you can feel this tiredness, right? Have you ever caught a trip on a plane, early flight or something, and the rest of the day you're feeling really tired? Well, you get like that for the first couple of weeks. But after that, I don't find myself tired anymore in the afternoon or nighttime. But you may wonder, what time do I actually sleep? So when I first started out waking up at this 4 a.m., I was really worried about what time I was gonna sleep. I was like, oh my God, what time is it? And when it was I made sure that I have to sleep by 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. or something like that. And I remember going, oh my God, I have to wake up. So I was panic attack, because I was worried that if I don't put myself to sleep, I won't have enough sleep. And I think I was trying to I wanted at least 7 or 8 hours of sleep or something. I just remembered feeling that pressure of, got to go to bed. But after months and months of doing it, you no longer feel pressure because you know that you can survive on a 6-hour sleep. So I usually sleep 6 hours, sometimes even 5, between 5 to 6, rarely a 7 or 8, unless it's weekends. Weekends I do sometimes just let myself sleep in when I feel like it. But some weekends I do wake up early. It just depends. But majority of the time, average 6 hours of sleep. So at 4 a.m. that means I have to be asleep by 10. I'm talking about asleep. So I even use a sleeping tracker because I like to know the quality of sleep rather than the hours of sleep. Because even if I put myself in bed at 9 o'clock but I don't actually sleep properly, there's no point. So I want to make sure I'm getting a 6-hour solid sleep. So I actually track, and I know when I have 6 hours of deep sleep, good sleep, I'm actually not tired. I mean, you don't have to track, but I like to track because I want to correlate between my feeling of tiredness or whatever with a reason. The reason is whether I had a good solid sleep or not. But before I go on, have you tried waking up early yet? Has it been a failure? Have you succeeded? Where are you at with your sleeping early mission or challenge? Okay, so what do I actually do when I wake up? When I first started out, I had to have my phone in a different room because I didn't trust myself. I knew I could procrastinate and press the snooze button if it's right next to me. So at the beginning, when you're new, you have less willpower. And so I used to put my phone in, I would recommend putting it in the bathroom and putting the alarm on loud. So when it goes loud, you have to rush to get it because you don't want to wake up the rest of your family. You run to the bathroom, turn it off, and you're already there. The next step is to brush your teeth and wipe your face with cold water. I can't do cold showers yet. I've never tried that, and I'm not ready to try it anytime soon, but the cold face wash is good enough for me. And then I'm awake then. And then I would go on my computer. I have a water bottle there with me to drink water. I don't have coffee till like 2 hours later. And on my computer, the first thing I do is I meditate or I do priming. So I love the exercise from Tony Robbins where you do like, and then you like do gratitude and then you visualize, and it's like a 10-15 minute session. And it really puts me in this state of feeling like you're centered. And when I get bored of that, I would then do like a 10 or 15 minute morning meditation. So over the past 2 years, I've either do priming or I do meditation in that first 15 minutes of time. And then the next thing I do is I watch a 10-minute short motivational speech on YouTube. So first I need the zen, and then next I need to feel pumped. So I need like, you can do it, like this kind of like, don't give up, things are hard, da, da, da. And it just makes me really excited and motivated to tackle the day. Then the next thing on my list is I actually write a journal. So I have a book from Kiki K that asks me like, what was best about yesterday? What am I grateful for? What am I working on tomorrow? Things like that. So I write like a short little journal, but I also would write another extra page if I feel like I need to brain dump some feelings on. Like if I feel like, I woke up today not feeling that excited, I'm worried about something, but so it's just when you start to vent out on a piece of paper, it just feels so much better. You feel like you're letting go of negativity or these thoughts that you have in your head. So journaling is quite important. So that would have already been half an hour, and then next thing I would do is work on the hard stuff. So I would look at my priority list and pick the hardest stuff to do first, because at that time in the morning, your brain is so creative, so smart. I used to hate writing, but now I could come up with this, all this writing, like poetic stuff that comes out. Like, I don't even know where it came from. Friends even said, have you been writing your own caption? Because it sounds so good. And it all came from waking up this early. My mind is super creative and sharp. Or I leave big, challenging problem-solving questions to do early in the morning. Because remember, every hour later in the day, your willpower starts to deteriorate, your energy starts to deteriorate. So it's really hard to make decisions and do the hard stuff later in the day. Then in the morning, if I don't have anything major to do, I love to have that quiet time to do some studying. So it's either reading a book or watching a podcast or some sort of like online training portal that I have that I've purchased that I need to do study on. So the kids don't really wake up till about 6 o'clock or 6:30. So I have a solid 2 hours to myself. And I promise you, since having those extra 2 hours, I've just been able to transform my business, my life. Some mornings I'm able to work on like my personal stuff, like maybe on a Friday, because I want to wind down. I don't want to focus too much about work. I actually spend the morning on a Friday, work out how I want to pursue my relationship and my family time. So I plan it all out. So having that extra 2 hours gives you that extra time to do proactive things rather than reacting to the days when, you know, when you're just waking up at the normal times like everyone else. If I woke up when the kids wake up, I would be immediately reacting to them. They want this, they want that, and I would be pulled all over the place without feeling that I am in control of my own life. All right, so how about exercise? So some people like to wake up early and exercise, but I can't do that. I just feel like I really wanted to have this tranquility time where I'm like working on like prioritizing things and working on my mental state. But because I've already done some important work as well, after I drop off the kids, I then do some exercise between 9:30 to 10:30. I found that over the past 2 years, whenever I try to work out later in the day, it gets harder. You know, I'm like thinking about when I'm gonna go, should I go? I have work to do. But the sweet spot for me right now is just getting it done as soon as I drop off my girl that goes to primary school. Once I drop her off, I go to the gym. And after that, it's like all of the hard stuff's done. I've already worked on the hard stuff, the priorities and the exercise and everything. And I can spend the rest of the day just reacting to life, to work, you know, working with the team, working on tasks that requires my attention. And then just feeling really free that I've already done everything I can to control my day and did everything that I wanted to do versus things that are, you know, asking for my attention when I don't really want to pay the attention. So that's my tips for you about how to wake up early. I mean, I guess what's the takeaway is just you gotta commit, you gotta decide, you gotta go, I'm gonna give this a go, and I will not a try, not a go, like this is my life, like I'm gonna be an early riser and I'm gonna do this. And so there are gonna be days where you procrastinate and you like press the snooze button, but it's okay. Tomorrow I start again. On those times that I go traveling and I come back, I can't get back into the routine immediately. So I give myself the next 2 days of slipping in, you know, and then I tell myself, okay, Monday is a new week. I'm going to go back to my old routine. So don't give up on this challenge of waking up early because it is a lifestyle. Every single day, if you earn 2 more hours, multiplied by 7, that's 14 hours, and multiplied by a year, that's just so much more hours that you're able to be more effective, more efficient than everybody else. And it's not like you're trying to compete with everyone else, but it's just, life is short. And if you could just do things faster and can fit more in a day, your life is just going to transform at a much faster rate. You're going to achieve your success a lot earlier, and that's what happened in my case. So thanks so much for watching, guys. And if you enjoy my video or you have any questions for me, particularly about like, I don't know, how do I do it with kids, or any questions or challenges that popped up in your head when hearing about how I wake up at 4 a.m, let me know in the comments below. And please, if you love my video, then support me by subscribing to my channel. And I will see you again next week. Bye.